Hey, hello and welcome to my new channel, and today we are gonna see how we can make flat shadows or long shadows for objects with complex and different shapes. I wanted to make a long shadow effect to my image, and since I'm new to this vector designing and all that things, I didn't know how we can do that, and so I went to the internet. This is normal, right? Everyone does it. When something you can find something, you try to find it on internet. So I did that, and all I just saw was disappointment. People were drawing rectangles and then dragging it to a certain angle, and then cutting the top to fit it into the object. But that was all wrong. And fortunately, I went to a a video where the person has shown that how we can make the flat shadows with a different technique, and that is somewhat I'm gonna show you today, but I'm gonna tweak it a little bit, and then we're gonna make the flat shadows for an image with different and complex shapes, like one right here. You can't just make triangles onto this image and make the shadows. You can't do this on this image. So we are gonna see how we can do this on an image like this on, or you can use the same technique for texts as well. For that, your image should have different shapes, and you should be able to move and manipulate all those shapes independently. So select the image as a whole and make a copy of it, and make two new layers. Paste that copy in each of the layer, and so you have three layers with a similar object in this similar place. Hide the top layer and select the bottommost layer. Drag it to the angle you want your long shadow to have. I'm gonna drag it to about 45 degrees. I think this is 45 degrees. Just do it by an idea. You don't have to be precise about this. Drag it to the angle you want your shadow to have. Now we're gonna use the blend tool. Select the blend tool, and in the drop down menu select specify distance, and specify the distance to have 1 pixel. Now it is gonna blend our shapes into one shape or on a single object. We are gonna choose our hairs to be blended first. So to blend that, you're gonna click on to the first layer or the first shape, and then to the similar shape of the second layer, and select the selection tool to deselect the blending option, and to prevent the blending tool to blend our shapes into only one shape of the opposite layer. We are not gonna do this. If we were not deselecting the blend tool and then select our glasses here, it is gonna do is that it is gonna blend it into this shape here, right here, right here, and not the glasses are not gonna blend into the shape of other layer. So we are just gonna deselect. We are just gonna go and select the selection tool just to deselect this blending option. Choose your blending option again, and with an idea click on to the glasses of first layer object, and click on to this object of the second layer. Again click on the selection tool to deselect this blending option, and then choose the blending tool again. This time we are gonna blend the mustaches of different layers. Yes, here. Again deselect this, select the blending layer, and with an idea we are gonna click on to this this little beard here, or whatever this is called, and we have blended all of the shapes of different layers into one layer. And now we are gonna go and set the visibility of the first layer to visible. We cannot see the top layer because it has the same color, similar color to the blending color. If we hide the blending layer, we can see our image. So we want to change the image so that it is visible onto the black blending layer. Select this image, and you can change the color by just dragging this picker onto this palette, color palette here. or by clicking here on the box of the color and select the color you want your image to have. I'm gonna give it white color because it'll look cool onto the black blending. Now set the visibility of the blending to visible as well. You can see that there's a highlight. We don't want that highlight over here on the edges of the top layer, so we're gonna go select the top layer again. We're gonna move it 1 pixel up and 1 pixel right by these arrow buttons on the keyboard. Now you can see there is no outline visible to the top layer. Now to make it a bit more fancy, we're gonna go and select the third layer or the bottommost layer that is now empty, and gonna draw a rectangle in this layer just to give our image a background. Select the color you want your rectangle to have. I would give it this color. This color looks nice. Yeah, this looks nice. And now we don't want this excess shadow that is out of the rectangle. We don't want that shadow to get out of this rectangle, right? To do that, make another layer, drag it to the top of the blending and bottom of that image layer. Now select this layer and draw or just copy the background rectangle and paste it onto the newly created layer. In this way it is on the top of this blending and on the bottom of this image right here. What we are basically gonna do is that we are gonna make a clipping mask for the blend option using this rectangle. We just may copy it here, right here on the top of this blending shape. So select both of these by clicking on the circle right here on the layer option. Hold shift and click on the circle next to the layer of the rectangle we made on the top of the blending. Go to the object, clipping mask, and then make. Now this is gonna hide the excess shadow that was coming out of the rectangle. It still looks odd because it has somewhat a darker color than we want. You can change the color of this blend by changing the color of those layers that were black in the start before we started to blend that. Just change that before you blend. Just change the color to your liking before you start to blend those layers, and so you will have a pretty much nice looking long shadow of the complex image or object with different shapes or within the image. And I guess this is pretty much it for the tutorial. Thanks for watching and goodbye for now.